I'm filming on my phone, and it's on the windowsill, so the level is a little. I'll try and sit back as much as possible. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Haley. If you don't know me, if you're new, welcome. Thank you for clicking on my video. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that was kind of requested of me. Sorry, it's quite early in the morning, so the lighting's a little funny because the sun is going up. Anyways, today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that has been asked or requested, and that is tips for breastfeeding. So if you see me looking down, I have my little notepad here. I wanted to write it down and really explain to you guys what has helped me. Now, I have to say in the beginning of this video, breastfeeding has been quite easy for me. So I don't really know what it's like to struggle with breastfeeding. I mean, my baby is awesome. He's an awesome eater. But I also account that to a lot of the tips that I'm going to talk about today. So I'm not 100% sure, but I really do think these tips are what made breastfeeding so easy for me. So let's just get right into the video. So the number one tip for breastfeeding is when your baby, you give birth right away, I would say, as soon as possible, skin to skin. I think that is so important to develop that bond. To get that bond started, and he's close to his mom. When Mateo was born, he was having some troubles breathing. He was breathing, but he just had some fluid in his lungs, so they had to take him away for maybe 15-20 minutes and deal with that, and then they brought him back, put him on me, and we were together. It was nice because I did get him on me. Even though he was having some troubles breathing, he was on me, and I was kind of like, I could see that he was trying to breathe, and anyways, it was nice to know that he was okay. But I would say skin to skin right away, and then kind of look for the signals of him trying to root, they call it, which is where he's kind of, mindlessly or aimlessly searching for the boob. For me, it was maybe an hour after he was born. I was just snuggling him for a while and looking at him, and then I could see he was starting to get a little bit fussy and looking around, and so I whipped out my boob and tried to get him latching. Now, when he first latched, honestly, he latched really well, so I didn't have a lot of problem with that. But you really want to make sure that it's not just the tip of your nipple in his mouth. You really want him to get like some of the skin around your boob as well. If you hear rattling in the background, Mateo's playing. So yeah, you really want to make sure the boob is in his mouth. Also, you want to make sure that his mouth is like around your boob, not like, like his lips are stuffed in his mouth. You want to make sure his mouth is wide, like over your boobie. Otherwise, he can't feed properly. The second tip is feed as much as possible. So I might have to go pick him up, we'll see. But feed as much as possible. One second. He's liking doing this new thing called screaming. It's happy screams, but yeah. So feed as much as possible. Even though you don't have your real milk right away, you want him to get as much of that as possible. So I would say feed at least every hour, or just listen to him or her, sorry, and yeah, literally just keep sticking the boob in their mouth. This helps to establish, so that he gets all of your colostrum and all of the benefits from that, and it also helps your milk come in faster. At least it did for me. They were really surprised that my milk came in by like day 2. I count that to feeding him constantly. So along with that, I guess tip number 3 goes hand in hand with tip number 2 is feed on demand. So a lot of nurses tell you, feed every 3 hours at least. So I would say keep a very, you won't really be taking your eyes off of your baby anyways, but just watch for those hunger signs. So it's like rooting, where they kind of aimlessly search for the boob. Yeah, that's probably the first sign that you will see. Another thing I wanted to talk about is cluster feeding. Now this isn't really a tip about breastfeeding, I guess. It's just something I don't want to say warn you guys about, but let you know that this is a thing, because I didn't really know about it. And it drove me a little bit crazy, because I was like, I just fed him. Like, how is he hungry? Cluster feeding is when they feed several times, like many times in a short amount of time. It makes sense because baby's tummy is so tiny, it can only take a small amount of breast milk at a time. And then breast milk is so easily digested by them that they're hungry again very soon. It also helps to establish your milk supply. So just when you're going through this, I know it's hard and it's exhausting and you feel like your baby is just on you all the time, but it doesn't last a long time, maybe for the first month or so, and just... So yes, I would say it's the worst within the first month to 6 weeks, but as I go through growth spurts, they will cluster feed sometimes. He doesn't do it so much anymore, but yeah, I just wanted to warn you about that. Just go with it, okay? Be there for your baby, and that's all that matters at that time. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is bed sharing or night nursing. So for me, since we were in the hospital, we have co-slept, and so I think that really helped with my supply as well, is because as soon as he was hungry, I just stuck my boob in his mouth and we could like lie there and he could basically sleep nurse. So I think that really helped. Also, he wasn't waking up screaming hungry because of it. But if you don't feel comfortable co-sleeping, I would say just have them very close by so that you can, know when they wake up. But I suggest co-sleeping at least for the first month or couple weeks, just so that you can kind of know your baby a little bit better and be right there when they need that milk and help to establish your supply. What are you doing? You want to face this way? You want to say hi? He's got his little toy attached to his hand. I'm not sure how he feels about it. Fun? I just fed him and that was a worrisome sounding burp. Do you want on the floor? Do you want to play? Okay, so I recommend sleeping with your baby in the bed, obviously carefully, just to help establish the supply, because then they can be right on your boob as both of you are sleeping, and they can kind of nurse when they're sleeping, and it gives them a chance to nurse a bit longer. Another thing is, you know, a lot of people, and I know I've done this too, is when baby kind of slows down or they seem like they're not really getting as much, like gulping, or even when they're sleeping, you assume that they're done and you pull the boob out of their mouth and stop nursing. Sometimes this is okay, like if they're really in a deep sleep and you want to get some things done, totally put them down and let them have their nap. But I would just make sure that they really are done nursing, like listen to them, see if they're still getting any milk. I would say if they're still actively feeding, even if it's not as fast anymore, more sporadic, just let them nurse for a little while longer, and then you can put them down. It just helps that they get everything out of their feeding. They get that good hind milk, and yeah, everybody's happy. Another thing is, it will hurt in the beginning. For me, I can't say it was bad, but it wasn't so bad as some people say it is, for me at least. When I would night nurse, sometimes I would just stick the same boob in his mouth and it would get quite sore on that one. So I would just kind of during the day give that one a break and have him on the other one. I mean, you're gonna have to deal with the pain either way. I'm telling you, it is so worth it, and you can do it. They do have nipple creams out there that help. I personally haven't had to use them, but it might work for you. I never used nipple cream or got cracked nipples, and that's because I used coconut oil on my nipples. I feel like it just kept them moisturized all the time, and it's also a natural pain reliever. It has like some natural lidocaine in it. So yes, coconut oil, I'm telling you, it's good for everything. So when your milk is coming in, your boobs will get like super full and super hard, and they may hurt. You want to make sure that if your boobs hurt at all, like in one specific area, you want to make sure that you massage them and put a hot compress on them. In the first few days that my milk came in, I felt like almost like a little ball in my boob, and it hurt. And so I think that's where my milk, maybe it got clogged there or something like that. I just massaged it a lot, put hot compress on it, and had him nurse on that one much more. My friend actually ended up getting quite a bad fever and had to stop breastfeeding. So just make sure that you pay very close attention to any pains that you're having and kind of try and work it out like that. And obviously, if the problems persist, go see a doctor or a lactation consultant or something like that. I can't really give you too much advice on that except what worked for me. Also, when your milk is coming in, it won't always be symmetrical. So I was very worried about this in the beginning, that I would have milk in one boob and no milk in the other boob, because I mean, we are all asymmetrical people, and obviously I have one bigger boob and one smaller boob, and so I was worried that the bigger boob would have milk and the smaller boob wouldn't. I don't know. You worry about these kind of things. But I suggest feeding on the less full boob as much as possible, and then obviously if he's still hungry, feed on the other one. You have to feed on both of them, but start feeding on the less full one and then switch to the other one, if you know what I mean. This is just in the beginning to establish your supply and everything. The last most important tip I would say is don't stress about it. Get comfortable, relax, and get help if you need it. So in the beginning, your baby needs you 24/7. You are going to be nursing more than anything. So just get cozy on the couch or in the bed, snuggle up to your baby, and just be there. It will be frustrating at times. I know at night, the first 2 days home, I cried because I was in the dark trying to feed, and my boobs are so full that I can barely get it in his mouth. He's choking on it, and he's screaming. I'm crying because it sounds like he's in pain, and I feel like a bad mother, and my hormones are crazy. So I suggest for that is turn on a lamp for one. Lean back if you notice that your milk is coming in too fast, because you will have a lot of milk in there if you're like me. Lean back. If you don't have enough milk, lean forward, because you're working with gravity here, right? At night, I would suggest having a lamp on, so that when you wake up in the middle of the night, then you can see, just because both of you are so new at this. Neither of you really know what you're doing. You need to see what you're doing. So, and if he does start crying, he or she does start crying, just relax. I know it's hard, and I know you're tired, and I know you hate to see your baby cry, and your hormones are crazy, and it's just all so much. Just take a deep breath. Ask your husband or partner, whoever is helping you, to get you a glass of water, whatever you need. If you need help, ask for help. Don't be afraid, because you both are figuring this out. So it's kind of nice for your partner to feel like they're helping as well, as they can't really do much in the beginning, you know. They can't feed the baby. I hope this video helped you guys. Let me know in the comments if it did, if there was any questions that you had that I didn't talk about. If you have any ideas or suggestions of future videos that you would like to see, drop it below in the comments. Give this video a like if you appreciated it, if it helped you in any way. I hope it did. Subscribe if you liked the content I provided for you and you would like to see more in the future. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss when I post. If you're feeling like super awesome and generous and want to follow me even more, I post often on Instagram. My handle is Mothering Mateo. I leave it in the description box in every video, and it would mean the world to me if you followed me. I would love to connect with you on there, and yeah, it's It's always nice to meet new mama friends or dad friends or any friends. Thank you so much for watching again, and have a great day. Bye.